A false start in the nuclear deal negotiations. The Iranian president was slated to speak today on the deal deadline, but not only has he failed to appear before the cameras, that was supposed to happen at 1:30 our time here on the East Coast, but now he's out there backtracking on Twitter. President Rouhani retweeted the Iranian Foreign Minister's tweet declaring a victory, but then he took it down. Now the Foreign Minister is telling reporters in Vienna no deal would be signed today. Blake Berman is in D.C. Also joining us here on set, former Senate Armed Services Committee member K.T. McFarland and Zuhdi Jasser, president of the American Islamic Forum for Democracy. And Blake, what is the White House saying about this?
Well, they were just asked about this a little while ago, Trish, along with the State Department. And here's the phrase that's being used this hour: genuine progress. That's what came from the White House press secretary, along with the State Department. That's the way they're classifying this. They say genuine progress has been made. It's also being labeled as important progress, though they say there are still tough obstacles in place. And over at the State Department just moments ago, they say they're not characterizing this as pulling back, but clearly no deal at this hour. Trish.
Yeah, you know, it feels like one delay after another. And KT, it keeps happening. Are we really going to see anything materialize?
Well, you know, you don't know. Yes, we are. No, we're not going to. Maybe again. The problem is that as of a week ago, there were major differences on the major issues. What are the major issues? Can this be verified? The Iranians have said no anytime, anyplace inspections. And by the way, you don't get on the military installations. We have said we got to have every time. We have to have verifiable inspections. So that's a big difference. The other is it enforceable? The Iranians have said you got to lift all the sanctions on day one. Every sanction ever, all time, day one. And we're saying, well, wait, shouldn't the sanctions relief be tied to your progress in filling out your part of the bargain? So there are huge differences on the only issues that really count.
But have they come together enough? I mean, I guess that's the big question.
Yeah.
What's at stake here for the Iranians, Zuhdi? I mean, the sanctions, getting those lifted would be a big deal for their economy, would they not?
Oh, yeah, and this is why they're almost borderline giddy, because they're really controlling it. They have hand, if you will, in controlling the narrative, and that's why he was premature. They would get $160 billion released that we've collected and frozen over years, and they want that released immediately. And to the global sense of threat of terrorism, here's a state sponsor of terrorism. That money would go to Hezbollah, would go to continuing the chemical attacks on innocents and the genocide in Syria to promote Assad and others. So I'm not exactly sure how President Obama is going to sell this nuclear deal in a vacuum, where you have a regional hegemonic power of Iran that's thumping its chest over the weekend, that sees this as a victory for them, and all we're going to get is guarantees of IAEA sanctions, inspections, which we've had for the last decade that have been proven to be useless.
Yeah, and let's not forget, I mean, when you talk about them being state sponsors of terror, you're absolutely right. These are the guys that are giving Hezbollah all the money to do all the bad things that they're doing. Just recently, and I think we have some video of this, they were out there protesting America. These are the Iranian people. A lot of people there around there just don't like the idea of even negotiating with us to begin with. So it's a tough sell for President Obama, and it's a tough sell for Rouhani, KT.
You know, and it's a tough sell for the others in the region. It doesn't even matter what we think or the mainstream media thinks or Congress thinks. It matters from our perspective what the other countries in the region think. The whole reason for this deal, to prevent a nuclear arms race in the Middle East. And if the other countries in the region are looking at all of this and they say, not verifiable, not enforceable, it's unbelievable. So therefore, we need nukes of our own. And it's a part of the world where money is no object. They can go buy nuclear weapons from
I think we have some sound from Mitch McConnell just over the weekend here on Fox, making his case about why this shouldn't happen.
We already know that it's going to leave Iran as a threshold nuclear state. It appears as if the administration's approach to this was to reach whatever agreement the Iranians are willing to enter into.
So, Blake, where does this stand now on Capitol Hill? I mean, there are a lot of senators and a lot of congressmen that don't like the idea of any kind of deal. If we actually look like we're going to get one, what are the next steps?
Well, Mitch McConnell there, said over the weekend that he feels that this would be a tough sell on Capitol Hill. The White House press secretary, Josh Earnest, was asked about this moments ago, Trish, as well. He said he feels it would be a tough sell if Republicans end up shooting this down. Of course, if there is a deal, there is a 60-day window. So even if they were to strike something overnight or in the next couple of weeks, you're still looking at most likely weeks into months before some sort of a vote, the congressional review would happen.
All right. Well, we'll keep watching it. Thank you so much. Blake, KT, and Zudi, good to have you guys here.